Yo, what's up guys? It has been a minute since my last video. Hope everybody's doing well, enjoying their summer, maybe doing some vacationing with the family, hopefully doing some fishing, trying to stay cool while you're doing fishing because man, it's been hot. Today, before I get started in today's video, I just want to thank everybody for all the comments and likes on the videos to this point. And thank you to all of you that have subscribed to the channel, man. I really appreciate it, helping the channel grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, I ask that you would consider it and just click that subscribe button. And hopefully I can keep making content to cover some things that'll help you in your fishing and keep you coming back to watch the videos. If you do subscribe, every time a new video comes out, you'll be notified. So again, thanks for watching. And today I'm going to go over a few things that I keep on the boat. I guess you could just say the products I've come to depend on more and more. A couple of them I've really been using the last year or so. So I kind of want to give you my thoughts on them and review on them. And a few of them are things that I've been using for years, and they're really helpful to me, and they might be helpful to you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. You know I like to crank. I throw a lot of crankbaits, a lot of moving baits, but these two things pertain to cranking in particular. I have tried many different kinds of clips, split rings, different things over the years. And this particular split ring right here, in my opinion, after a lot of years of trying different things, I used to use clips because I changed crankbaits a lot and it was just convenient and easy. Never really got comfortable enough and confident enough in any of the clips, the quick change clips, to continue using them, excuse me. So I started switching and trying different line tie split rings. And this one caught my eye. I ordered several different kinds, and this is one of the ones that I ordered. And now these are pretty much the only ones I use, and probably 80% of my crankbaits have been switched over to these split rings. And these are made by VMC. It's called their line tie split ring. It's a size 3. And their split rings, a lot of the terminal tackle is rated for pound test. Now, and I think it's because a lot of it is saltwater. A lot of times saltwater terminal stuff, you'll see a pound test rating on it. Well, these are the VMC line tie split rings, size 3, and they're rated for 22 pound test. They come 10 to a pack. And these are pretty much the split rings that I have gone to. These things don't, never had one straighten out. They're easy to change out. And I don't know if you can see, but you have it's got a smaller end and it's got a fatter end. And you tie on to the smaller end and the fatter end, these clips, these line ties, split rings, whatever you want to call them, it gives your bait, a crankbait, a lot more freedom of movement when you're using them. And that's one of the things I've noticed about them. And that, along with the fact that, like I said, I've never had one straighten out and they're easy to change out, is what's led me to these split rings. They're pretty much the only split rings I use now. Tackle Warehouse sells them. All this stuff I'm about to go over, Tackle Warehouse sells all of it. And Bass Pro may sell it too. But these are very good split rings, and VMC makes other terminal tackle too that I use, but for the sake of this video and as much as I crank and change out stuff, I wanted to show you guys these split rings. Now, talking about changing split rings, I used to go through lots of split ring pliers. These also came from Tackle Warehouse. I got a couple of pair of these on the boat. This is probably the oldest oldest pair. They're made by, or they're sold under the name of Texas Tackle. And these are the best split ring pliers I've ever used. They just have a good notch on the end of the plier for prying apart a split ring. And it's a real quick and easy process changing them out with these split ring pliers. I know I got these from Tackle Warehouse. They are stainless steel. They don't rust. I pretty much just leave them. I got a pair I leave back here, and I got a pair I keep up front oftentimes, and they're just real convenient, small, easy to use. And they work really well with these VMC split rings and any split rings you want to use. Another little handy tool to keep on the boat. And you can keep these in your tackle bag, in your kayak, if you pond fish. And that's these braided line and line scissors by Cuda. This is the bigger pair. I keep a couple pairs of these on the boat. And this is a little tiny pair that they sell that'll fit good in the tackle bag. These things cut braided line really, really well. And monofilament and fluoro too, whatever you want to use. They don't break the bank. Cuda makes a lot of good tools for fishing. They make a lot of stuff that saltwater and freshwater fishermen can use. Pliers, cutters, different things. I've even saw recently on a video, they make a big hook cutting pair of pliers, more like heavy duty. So like if you get a hook in your hand and you need to cut that hook, they make a pair of pliers that'll cut any size fresh or saltwater hook that you could possibly have that you get buried in your hand, and hopefully that don't ever happen. I don't have a pair of those, but I'm going to get a pair of those just because of how much crankbait fishing I do and stuff. So, but that's something else that Cuda has. But they make good pliers. They cut braid really, really well. And they come in different sizes, but this is the size I keep most often on the boat. But I keep a real small pair right here on the boat too, in case I have somebody fishing with me. I've always got 2 to 3 pairs of these laying around in the boat to when you're working on tackle, when you're changing out baits, when you're changing out line. They just come in handy and they're real helpful. The last 2 things, when I first moved to the area I'm living in now, I noticed the rivers had more barnacles in them compared to a lot of the rivers I had fished before. And there was a lot of gnarly wood cover. Well, I'm a braid and monofilament guy. I don't do fluorocarbon. And I fish with Berkley big game a lot. And I still use them on all my moving baits. Topwater, buzzbait, chatterbait, all the cranking, all that stuff. But I wanted a line for my worm, jig fishing, stuff like that, that was more abrasion resistant. And I tried a couple of different things, and I started looking, researching what other people were using. And I found this. This is P-Line CXX in the moss green color. It says it's abrasion resistant, extra tough, and extra strong, and it is. Back in the day, I used to use Berkley XT, and I even tried that again. It didn't seem to be what I remembered it being, put it that way. This stuff here is very, very abrasion resistant, even with the barnacles. Now, I ain't saying I don't have to retie, because I do. Anytime you're fishing around that kind of stuff, you do. And it's going to nick you and it's going to cut you off at times, even with braid. Some of these barnacles, man, they're crazy. Razor sharp. But this stuff here has been very reliable, and now it's pretty much what I use on any of my worm, jig fishing, drop shot, any of the leaders I put on my spinning rods for my slider head or any other thing I may be fishing, this is the line I use, and I always get the moss green. P-Line makes good stuff. I've heard their reputation, has always been good, and I just wanted a different line to use for bottom baits. And after a year of using it, you guys know I usually like to use something for a while and put it through the paces a little before I say anything about it. And I try not to be negative on anything I try. If something doesn't work for me, that don't mean it doesn't work for somebody else. I'm not going to be trying to bash somebody for what, everybody's experiences with stuff is different. The main thing is confidence, whatever you got confidence in. And I've grown to have a lot of confidence in this line. And now I've got braid on a couple of rods for my frogs and top water. And I've got Berkley Big Game on everything that moves outside of the frogs and a couple of top waters. Chatterbait, crankbait, spinnerbait, buzzbait, whatever. And this is for all my bottom baits. Again, it's P-Line CXX, extra strong, and I used a 12 and the 15 pound. Last thing is something that's always been like a big conversation about among fishermen for years and years, and that's scent. Fish attractant scent. Back in the day, man, I used to use Reel Crawl. I use that stuff religiously. I used to just soak it down in put a Ziploc bag with a big sponge in it, and I would just fill that thing with that Reel Crawl, and I would just drop a bait in there and squeeze the sponge around it, make sure I saturated the bait good. Then Bang came out, and I was a big fan of that. Then Bait Fuel came out. And I'm going to be honest, when I first bought it, started to use it, and you can see now, this bottle's pretty much almost gone. Getting ready to order some more. And I'm going to try the Bait Fuel stick that people put on hard baits. I'm going to try to give that a try too. I was a little skeptical with this at first. The more I started to have occasions come up where I gave it a try, like, again, example. If you're fishing somewhere, and I would be cranking, and I knew there was still fish around where I was, and I'd be trying to catch a few before I left the area with a jig or a worm, bottom bait, and I couldn't get bit. But I knew there was still fish there, and I started using this stuff. I said, I'll give it a try. And I started to see that it did increase the number of bites I got. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know it supposedly is a different concept than Reel Crawl or Bang or any of the other stuff that has come out. It says it expands the strike zone and creates a potent scent cloud around the bait. Fish active technology is what it's called. All I know is the more I use it, the more confidence I'm getting in it. I pretty much, anytime I'm fishing a worm or a jig now, I got this up there, and I'm putting it on the bait, or I'm putting it in a bag of baits the night before, or making sure it's on whatever I'm fishing, especially on my slower moving baits and stuff I'm dragging or hopping along the bottom. And like I said, I'm going to try the stick that they've come out with and try it on my hard baits as well. So one of the biggest things everybody knows in fishing is confidence. And when you start to get confidence in something, it'll bring you back, and you'll keep using it. And especially if it puts fish in the boat, you'll keep applying it and using it as well. So these are just a few things that I depend on pretty regular, and I think they're things that may help you guys, especially if you like to crank and You want a good split ring. Like I said, these things give real good freedom of movement because of the way they're shaped, almost like an egg shape. Split ring pliers, real easy to get your split rings changed out. And these are just, things that I've come to depend on, and hopefully something to help you guys out too. So I appreciate everybody watching the video. If you get out there on the water, stay cool, take care of your fish, and I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.